They're taking all our jobs. Well, that's quite convenient for me. Jobs are my least favorite thing about life. I hate jobs. So I'm doing this silly crap. No, you don't understand, Shane. These Mexicans, they sneak in here, they bring all these drugs into our country. Hold on a minute. So what you're telling me is that the Mexicans, they're gonna come here. They're gonna bring me drugs and do my job? Oh dear, I think we're gonna need a lot more Mexicans. I started working when I was 10 years old for my father. He has his own business making countertops in Wisconsin. I did that for a few years. Then I became a teenager. Got real angry and angsty for no reason, like teenagers sometimes do. And one day I was just like, oh yeah, Dad, you think you can pay me a good wage and pass a business down to me? Well, fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna go push carts at a grocery store for minimum wage. So I did that for a few years. Then my first full-time job as an adult was working at a crouton factory. I have no joke for that whatsoever. My girlfriend's just like, oh my God, you worked at a crouton factory? That's hilarious, just say that. So I do. I think the weirdest job in the world, I actually just found out about this a few months ago thanks to the internet. It's called the Japanese subway packer. A couple of you have heard of it. I had no idea what that was either until I saw some videos on YouTube. See, in Japan, sometimes the subways, they get so full of people that they cannot get the subway doors closed. So there are people whose actual job is to cram people into the subway. Please Google subway packers when you get home. It is the funniest, most horrifying thing you will ever see. You're watching it? Oh yeah, that's full. Yeah, nah. There's no way they're gonna get those 15 people all crowded around in there. Oh yes, they are. With their cute little uniforms, the little white gloves. Best part about it, these people getting crammed in, that's their choice. They could get out. They could wait for the next train. No. Pack me. Oh my God, how amazing is that job? I'm not a violent person. I don't want to hurt anybody. It's just that once in a while, I feel like squishing humanity into a tube and sending it away for a while. Just a little break, that's all I want. But this is awesome, being a stand-up comedian, this is a fantastic job. If you can't squish Asians, this is a close second. Lately, I've been studying a lot of evolutionary psychology, and by that I mean I've been getting high and watching the Animal Planet. Yeah, you can learn a lot from watching animals. Yeah, because there's this whole misconception that some people have about life, that life is all about survival. And not only is that depressing, but it just doesn't explain a lot of things. Like, for example, you could say that clothes originated for survival, and you'd probably be right. But that doesn't explain why I'm wearing these dumb designer bootsies that are uncomfortable. There's no traction on them. They're a ridiculous waste of money. It's the opposite of survival. The reason why I'm wearing these baby skin bootsies is because my girlfriend picked them out for me, and she controls the puss distribution. Come to find out, that's what life's about. Mating and reproduction. It's far more important than survival. It is. Think about it. In the big picture, in the scope of things, none of our ancestors survived. None of them. Not a one. We are all here because of an unimaginable amount of fucking. Isn't that wonderful? And when it comes to mating, what you figure out in a hurry is that ladies, they're the gatekeepers. Females do the selecting. It's just guys' job, just to get selected. So if you ever watch Planet Earth or one of those animal documentaries, what you'll see is a lot of life is just males trying to get attention from females. Like the classic example is the peacock. Male peacock has a big, huge plumage that the peahen doesn't have. Why doesn't she have one? Because the thing's stupid. It weighs him down so he can't fly very good. Makes him stick out to predators. It's horrible for survival. So for the longest time, scientists were like, why in the hell would he have that thing? Turns out it's just pretty stuff for the ladies. That's all it's there for. Hey ladies, look at all my nonsense. And the peahens are just like, ooh, look at all that nonsense. Deer antlers are kind of like that too. And I'm sure the first people that saw deer antlers are like, oh, they must use those to fend off predators or something. No, not at all. Just for the ladies, that's it. Bucks, they start growing them in the springtime, and then they peak in the fall for mating season. And all they're used for, this is their singular purpose. As soon as a doe comes by, a deer, a female deer, the bucks, they just start bashing each other's heads in with those antlers, and whoever wins gets laid. That's all there is to it. After mating season, their antlers just fall right off. Don't need that anymore. Getting caught up in tree branches and whatnot, pain in my ass. And it's not that females don't compete for mates as well, they just don't have to be quite as aggressive. I'm sure all the does are gossiping about one another. Oh, she's a slut. I hear she has Lyme disease. She's got ticks on her pussy. Or however does denigrate one another. Ladies like making guys dance too. That's not just a human thing. A lot of species, even the fruit fly, believe it or not, male fruit fly during courtship. Oh, you like that? Check that out. It's got some sweet moves. Fortunately, humans look for a variety of traits. If it's just up to dancing, I'd be out of luck, as you just saw. I went dancing with my girlfriend recently. She was like, I think I sort of understand what you're trying to do with your shoulders. But what song are your legs listening to? All life is like that. It's pretty incredible. If you hear birds singing, it's most likely a male bird. I can just about guarantee it. Male birds, some of them, they'll memorize thousands of songs just to get attention from females. Meanwhile, I'm trying to sleep in. I got this horny bastard outside my window. Will somebody fuck this guy already? Give him a wing job or something. So why is that the case? Why are females so picky about who they choose to mate with? There's some interesting basic kind of science behind that. Basically, we're all biologically driven to breed. That's why sex feels so amazing. That's why the Japanese have Subway packers. To do that, you have to make a baby. To make a baby, females have a higher physical cost to making a baby than men do. Females have to grow a life inside of them, which is bizarre, by the way. We don't even think about how crazy that is. But pregnant women will still go to work and run errands. If I eat a burrito, I don't want to get on stage. They're growing a life inside of them. Then there's painful childbirth. At least when human babies come out, they just kind of lay there and you can hold on to them. Some species, the baby comes out just on the move. I don't know if you can imagine what that would be like, ladies. That nightmare. You just get done. Hours of horrible, painful child labor. Now you have to chase something? Point is, that's a lot that females have to go through to make a baby compared to a male. What does a male physically put into making a baby? Just, that's it. That's all we gotta do. It's a pretty sweet deal. By the way, I apologize. I do suffer from immature ejaculation. Point is, I can make a baby in 2 minutes flat, no big deal. And I can make thousands of them given the opportunity. So if you've ever wondered why no one gives a shit about Father's Day, there you go, there you have it. Pretty simple explanation. Think about it on an even smaller level. Females, they're born with about 400 eggs. They're released at specific times. When they're gone, they're gone. Men, on the other hand, we can produce up to 12 million sperm in an hour. We can just make it rain anytime we want to. Oh, here you go, ladies. Oh, so generous. By the way, I don't like that little move. I think it's kind of cheap comedy. I feel dirty every time that I do it. Reason it's in my act, when I was first putting all this stuff together and learning about this stuff and trying to think of the best way to convey it in a funny way, I relied on a lot of cheap tricks like that just to get me through shows. Reason I bring it up tonight, one time I was doing shows in Dallas, Texas, and I did that joke, and an audience member did maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I went like that, guy about 10 rows back, boom, caught it. Yeah. Like I was blowing him a kiss. Oh my God. That man is a comedy genius. I'd never seen 100% pure comedy before. I was like ashamed of myself. You know what a fraud I felt like? With my contrived bullshit? Oh, put me under lights, amplify my voice, cameras here, look this way. I need attention, aren't I special? Not this guy. This guy didn't need attention. No one else even saw him do this. This was just for me. Oh, it's mine now, thank you. Funnier than any joke I'll ever write. I had to pick myself up off of the stage. I was laughing so hard. And then explain to the audience what had just happened so they wouldn't think I was just laughing at my own material like a lunatic. Oh, man. I had to read about all this stuff on my own. I guess maybe had I gone to college, there would have been some psychology or biology courses where maybe some of this stuff would have came up. But the world needed croutons, and I knew what I had to do. I think I made the right choice. But it's just so strange to me that they don't tell you anything about this stuff when you're growing up. There's no relationship 101 in high school, no happiness 101, anything good in life you have to learn on your own. Sex, you have to figure all of that out on your own. It's humiliating. I'm 33 years old. I just found out recently that there's something I've been doing in the bedroom just for the longest time, just totally wrong. And not like some little thing that I didn't realize that I was doing. This was like my move. This was my signature Shane Moss sex move. Totally fucking wrong. Part of the problem is, ladies, some of you don't always do the best job of conveying exactly what it is that you want, because you all communicate through subtleties and you can read each other's minds, and you just assume that men can do that as well, and we cannot. So you're confused when we don't pick up on your weird codes. I don't understand. I looked at him across the room, I gave him a coy smile, then I looked away. Why didn't he know that I wanted him? So last time we jumped to that conclusion, he called the cops on us. We don't know what's going on. You have to tell us exactly what you want. I'm a little bitter right now because this was embarrassing. Here's what my move was. I'd be working her little lady boner, and yeah, you can have a few moments to take this in if you need it. So yeah, we can do this here. It's fine. This is a safe place. Yeah, this is a free-ish country. Yeah, it's okay. We can do this here. I'd be doing a little bit of that action. That'd be going pretty well. Ladies tend to like that, as long as you don't call it a lady boner. And then what I'd do when things were getting real exciting, when things were nearing a climax, here's what my big move was. I'd get my tongue under there real good, give it like a real hard flick up, just as hard as whoa. And apparently, that area is a bit more sensitive than I realized. See, I don't have one of these little buggers, ladies. So, if you don't tell me, how am I to know? The real issue was what compounded the problem, the reason why I was doing it that hard, why it had escalated to that, was because I was receiving like a bit of a signal error, I guess you could say, where sometimes I'd do my move, and once in a while, a lady's leg would be like, ah! It would be like, ah! Oh! See, because it was sensitive. I know that now. I didn't at the time. Here, I thought that meant I was doing a real good job. Like she was wagging her tail or something. I was like, oh my God, she can't control herself. She's having involuntary reactions. I better do that some more and harder. Few ladies with some sore clits in here. This is a real embarrassing story to tell on stage because there's always guys in the room like, oh no. Oh. What happened to me a couple years ago, I started dating a new girl, and this new girl I'm dating, she's great. She's very straightforward, speaks her mind kind of a gal. I like that. And so, about a month in, I go to give her the old Shane Moss. She's just like, whoa, stop it, nope, no. Which, had just the first girl said something like that, I would have corrected my technique and moved on with my life. But years have gone by. Do you understand the flood of memories that just came washing back immediately? The images that came coursing through my mind. Just years and years of ladies just like, ouchies, hold on there. Oh, take it easy. All the while, I just thought I was killing it. I recognize that society is probably a ways off before we're ready to lobby the legislature to use government funds to teach young men how to work a clit. I understand that. Yeah, at least until that lady's president. Well, there's some basic stuff that they should teach you because this stuff's hard to figure out on your own. Actually, for the longest time, scientists didn't even realize. They used to think that females had kind of a passive role when it came to mating, from watching animals and whatnot. It took them a long time to realize that females were actually calling the shots because all scientists used to be males, and males, we just like to tell ourselves that we're in charge in relationships. Especially manly men. Yeah, I got a house. I'm a homeowner, head of the household, king of the castle. No, you bought her a house. Before you met her, you were living in squalor with two other dipshits eating ramen noodles. Then he met her, she put an end to that. Then he bought her a house that she picked out, then decorated with a bunch of stuff you don't even understand. I know you thought having a couch with a cup holder in it seemed real practical. And you were right, by the way, but that's not gonna happen. Maybe if you're on your best behavior, she'll let you put that tacky thing out in your man cave, yeah. Out of man cave, because I'm a man. Man cave man. My house, my man cave woman. Oh yeah, where is this man cave? The attic or the basement? Oh, out in the garage, you don't say. Not even attached to the house. What do you know? She gave you some shack outside to put a couple of your dumb belongings. You think you're in charge. That's hilarious. I'm glad you guys like that joke. I moved to LA recently, and that joke never works in LA because there's no men or homeowners there. So. Including myself. But here what my man cave is, closet with a Batman poster in it, that's what I'm rocking. And Frank had better accommodations. And more freedom. It's kind of a universal thing though. I was flipping through the channels one day, there's a Snoop Dogg reality television show on, and I was like, oh, let's see what Snoop's up to. I try to keep up. He's always rapping about what pimp he is, so I'm expecting to see a different situation here. He's probably made like $1 billion in his career, one of the most famous rappers all time. And I'm watching. He's got some $11 million house. Oh, wow, look at that. Then I noticed Snoop is nowhere in his $11 million house. His wife is in his $11 million house. Where are Snoop and his buddies? They're out back in some shack, sitting in broken lawn chairs. Playing video games. $11 million mansion. Broken lawn chairs. Broken plastic lawn chairs is what Snoop was sitting in. That's the D-O-double-G, guys. Meanwhile, he writes a bunch of misogynistic lyrics catering to sexually frustrated 15-year-old boys. He has a song titled Bitch Please. That's a real song title of one of his songs. That's why he goes on the road, Bitch Please. Bitch Please. And all the young guys that don't know anything about life yet are like, yeah, awesome, Snoop. I guess that's how you talk to women. Because they don't realize he has to go home like, bitch, please, can I have some gin and juice? Please, bitch. You know, there's a whole theory out there that maybe our tree-dwelling ancestors started walking upright so that males could carry more stuff to females. It's a real theory a couple scientists have. It's based off of two observations that they've made through watching monkeys. One, monkeys tend to only walk up on two legs to carry a bunch of stuff. And two, ladies love stuff. So I guess the idea is to conceptualize this. Way back when, there'd be like a hot little lady monkey hanging out in the woods. She's fertile, she's got that big red ass bump, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Couple potential suitors come by. One of these dumb monkeys is gonna get laid. She's gonna pick which one, so they're coming to impress. This first monkey comes by, he's got some bananas for her, and that's a nice gesture, but he's a dumb monkey, and he's on all fours. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever tried carrying bananas like this, but it sucks, and you look like a fucking idiot. But then this other monkey comes by. He's smart. He's figured it out. He's up on two legs. He's just got armfuls of bananas. Well, hello, handsome. A few million years of picking that guy, and you have us. That's the idea. So I was reading about all this, I'm thinking, well, that sounds like a bunch of BS to me. Right then, that very moment, my girlfriend walks through the door. She's like, Shane, can you go grab the groceries out of the car for me? I'm lugging these groceries up the steps, 3 trips worth of groceries, by the way, but I'm gonna do it all in one trip because I'm a man, damn it, yeah. I got groceries lined all up and down each arm for no reason whatsoever. I'm losing circulation by the second, dropping groceries everywhere. Oh man, she's gonna be impressed when she sees how many groceries I can carry. I just looked at myself, I'm like, damn it, I'm a monkey? Who knew? That theory may be a bit of an exaggeration. But it is pretty clear that female choice drove how we adapted. Females, to offset the heavy burden of having kids, they selected for men that were good providers, the guys that would stick around. That's why now we have things like marriage. Had male choice drove evolution, women would have more holes. And it would be normal to you. Wait, you think you know why you're attracted to the things that you're attracted to? You're not consciously aware of that stuff. If you did, the way guys talked about women would sound totally different. You're like, oh man, look at the waist to hip ratio on her. Huh? Well, there's a sure sign of fertility if I've ever seen one. And look how symmetrical her face is. I bet she's free of genetic mutation. And look at the estrogen levels on that one. She could provide some nutrients for my offspring. You don't hear any of that crap. You just hear boobies. It's funny because we don't really think about like a lot of where our behavior comes from and a lot of the instincts that drive it. Like none of us chose to like sex. You realize that? Every one of you thinks that you did. None of you did. You hit puberty, you had a biological change. You started liking sex. I never even thought about sex before puberty. What happened between then and the time that it was all that I thought about? Did I then study sex and measure the pros and the cons and intellectualize it? No. One day I woke up with a boner and was like, whoa, I want to put this somewhere. Woohoo! My life was changed forever. Then afterwards you rationalize it to yourself, oh yeah, that was my decision making. No. You're not having sex like, oh, I wonder if I can afford a child right now. Is this a good decision for me? Is this good for society for us to keep cranking out kids? What's the carrying capacity around here? No, you're not thinking that. You could be packed in a subway in Japan like, oh, I'd like to hit that right. Yeah, there's room for a few more around here. And we like to think we're so much different than animals, but I'm not sure. Think about those deer antlers next time you're watching a football game. Now that's all I see is just a bunch of dudes just bashing each other's heads in, cheerleaders on the sidelines, bounce their titties around, egging them on. Unless you think they're there for team spirit. In which case, I have a study that ladies can do. Ladies, next time you see a group of guys out playing a game of basketball, just a little pickup game, a little shoot around, not taking things too seriously. Here's what you do. Take you and your little short shorts, skipping by there, and watch the level of intensity rise immediately. It will start with some Harlem Globetrotter. Next thing you know, they're gonna be throwing elbows around. I don't even think about why they're doing it. It's nuts. Anthropologists, they'll go and they'll study like some of the few hunter-gatherer people that still exist to see what maybe our ancestors might have been like before the influence of modern society. So there's these people, these Yanomami people down in the Amazon, and they go to see what their relationships are like, and it's the same kind of crap. It's like, he leaves his loincloths around everywhere. He never uses the loincloth basket. I wasn't done wearing it. You know, it's all the same kind of crap. But the funny thing is, the only thing that they ever go to war over, ever, is one tribe will invade another tribe and just try to get their women. That's all they'd ever go to war over, because the women there are impressed by the best warriors. So then, the next week that tribe goes, they invade another tribe, try to get their women. They ask like American scientists what America goes to war over, and they're just confused. They're like, liberty? What the fuck are you talking about? You don't get any women out of the deal? Are you crazy? It seems insane to them. Because that is like the fun little narrative that we like to pat ourselves on the back for. You know, we watch Braveheart. Freedom! Really, William Wallace? Seems to me you didn't give a shit about freedom or Scotland until they killed your woman. Then you went and took a woman from them. Watch that movie again. It's a whole different story. Don't believe me? I can prove it to you. You know what's never happened in recorded human history? Not once has this happened. Has a group of women banded together and invaded a town for dick. You're never gonna see that. It's just never gonna happen. How amazing would that be? If you're just some dude hanging out in a tent, bored, you wake up in the middle of the night just screaming, commotion. Oh no. Look outside, blood, fire everywhere. This is awful. Then you look through the smoke. There's just 1,000 women on horseback there to claim you. Yes! Over here! Oh man, I love War Day.